Hey everyone, it's Skipper Mark and Skipper Matt, and today we are going to replace the brake calipers on his 2004 Jeep Rubicon. Oh, okay, cut! He bought this Jeep a couple weeks ago and noticed that one of the calipers was sticking, so he decided to replace all four with these nice red ones versus just getting one. It ended up being about $40 more to get four, but now it's got all new calipers and they should last a really long time. So we're going to walk you through that, and just wanted to thank you for watching and have a great day. To take off the caliper, you loosen these two slide bolts. There's one on the top and one on the bottom. And then you take them out. You take them out?
Yep, take them all the way out.
Take them out like that. And then the caliper, what, just lifts off?
Just
or?
pop off, yeah. You can pry it with the screwdriver if it gets stuck.
I don't know if you heard that, but Matt said if it's stuck, you can pry it off with a screwdriver. Calipers are really easy to put on. You take the two bolts out and the caliper will just lift off the disc, and then you hook the hose up to here, and then that's the bleeder for it. The caliper slides had some grease on them, but Matt wants to put a little bit more on because he thought it looked a little light. So you just pull that slide out, put some grease on it, and then put it back in. To get the old pads out, you just kind of pry up these little prong things, and then it will just literally slide out, kind of drop down, or in this case it's going to go up. These pads are kind of old, but they got a lot of life left, so no need to replace them. And they literally just slide down over like that, and now they're in.
Sure, the little tabs are popped in the little holes on the other side.
The caliper literally just slides over the disc like that. You put the bolts back in, and that's it. The caliper's pretty much on. Technically, the slide bolts are supposed to be torqued, but we just snug them up. Don't over tighten them though.
There's two copper crush washers on each side of the banjo bolt. It should come with the caliper. You're supposed to replace these every time you take that bolt out and put it back on. So most calipers come with them. So one goes here under the head of the bolt, and then on the other side right down there.
When you take the hose off, it'll start to drip out a little fluid, so you want to have a bucket underneath. And also those washers sometimes get stuck and you have to pry them off. So that's called a banjo nut?
Banjo bolt, yeah. It's just a bolt with a hole in it. The old one came off, the old washer.
So the old washer on that one came off, and
It's on the caliper on this side, so it didn't stick or anything. There's the other one.
so those came off pretty easy. They didn't stick or anything like that. So the new one just slides on the bolt. It's called a banjo bolt. I'm not technically sure why.
There's a hole there and a hole there for the fluid to go through, and they just call them banjo bolts. You put one here, and then you slide it through, and then you put the other washer on the back side of the bolt, and then you go and you thread it into your caliper. Just gonna make sure it's lined up tight, so. For most vehicles, when the caliper is installed and all bolted on, the bleeder screw will be towards the top of the caliper. If it's towards the bottom, you may have the caliper switched from left to right.
Most people don't torque down that bolt when they put it in, but on the Jeep here it says 20 to 25, so Matt's going to go in the middle and go to 23.
The last step when you replace the calipers is to bleed the brakes. If you don't bleed the brakes, when you hit the pedal, it'll go to the floor and you probably won't be able to stop. Okay, the first thing, you want to take your cap off the master. Set it somewhere.
So you push the pedal down 4 or 5 times, and what that does is that pushes the piston inside of the calipers out so you can bleed the brakes. To actually bleed the brakes, you have someone inside the car who presses the pedal 3 times and then holds it down, while someone on the outside of the car loosens the bleeder valve. When this happens, that forces air out of the line and brake fluid will also squirt out.
One more. One more. Okay. When you're bleeding the calipers, all you do is just keep bleeding until you no longer see air coming out of the bleeder screw. Okay, go.
Holding.
Okay, again.
Holding.
One more.
Holding.
Okay, one more.
Holding.
And you want to make sure your fluid's always topped off. You don't want it to run out while you're bleeding.
As you can see, changing calipers is a pretty easy job. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Thanks for watching.